And we are back. Let me run this one. So the first tune is my I hate it when I cannot find a word. I believe that I'm not thinking in words. I'm thinking in, I don't know, concepts, abstract way. And that is being translated into language, English in this case. So it can definitely happen that I just know what I want to say and know the meaning and the associations and everything. But I just cannot find a word that describes that feeling. How do you call? So the idea is as follows. Every time I start a stream, I begin with the same song. Then that song is my theme song of my theme. But I have the feeling that there is a better word for it. It doesn't pop in my head at all. Nope. Well, this is it. And hello, Neovim. Oh, you are a Jippy Dev. And also here my memory fills me. Chian. Why can you guys please change your name to John and Paul and Simon? I'm just kidding. Chechen, no. Yeah, you'll have to do with whatever I make up in pronunciation. Okay, so I run it and we have a working case this time. So I can change the value of the top position. And that's a uniform buffer. And we have left, that's another uniform buffer, and we have bottom, that is another uniform buffer. Each uniform buffer, this contains a float. Okay, a little bit more than a float, but I'm only using that float that they contain. I can call you Peter if I remember that. The Chechen is Peter. Now we run it again, and now we have nothing with a lot of validation errors. Let's see what kind of validations are there. Are they every time the same thing? Probably best to look at the first. That's definitely not the same thing, because this is in command draw and this is in something else. I want to have the first validation error. I guess the best thing to detect that is just by running it in GDB. Well, that's useless. So I do Control C and then an R. Are you sure you want to run it again? Yes. Okay, now we have a validation error. The first validation error, it stops on the first validation error. So while trying to bind the descriptor set, it is complaining about descriptor set number 0 being bound is not compatible with overlapping the descriptor set layout at index 0 of pipeline layouts ... due to and descriptor set layouts. And then I print the key here, so fortunately we have a lot of information. This whole thing is a debug name, so it's my stuff. The validation layers just blindly repeat the debug name that I link to this object. That debug name is descriptor set layout square bracket blah, 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 which means that it is a part of a map where I used this as a key, from which we can conclude that this is a descriptor set with only one shader resource, namely a uniform buffer, which, by the way, are only used in the vertex shader stages. The uniform buffers are only used in this test case in the vertex stage, and my texture is used in the fragment shader. And since you have only one resource, only a uniform buffer, it must be binding 0. Well, there is more. The blah blah from the pipeline layout has one total descriptors, but m descriptor set layouts. And then we get one that has 2 bindings, which is bound, has 2 total descriptors. Now imagine I would not be using debug names for my Vulcan objects. Then it would basically be saying descriptor set 0 being bound is not compatible with overlapping descriptor set layout at index 0 of 0x55569f something from pipeline layout. Has one total descriptors, but m descriptor set, but 0x5569 etc., which is bound, has 2 total descriptors. My conclusion is that I can do nothing with this. It's just not enough information whatsoever. It's going to be a real puzzle. It's a puzzle every time I get a validation error to figure out what is going on. So, hey, Demir is back. How are you? So the I put it in a description. I only started like 5 minutes ago. If you read the description, then you're up to date completely. Okay, my approach every time is that I stop it with the debugger, then I go up in the stack until I see the actual Vulcan call, so a call of a Vulcan API. And then I can look at the arguments that are being passed to that function, and then hopefully we get more insight in the problem. Okay, this is my code again. We're on window draw frame, and that calls bind descriptor sets, or it adds bind descriptor sets to the command buffer, and passing a lot of stuff. Well, it just passes a handle. Let's see what complete thing that it is passing. It is this line, right? Bind descriptor sets, okay. So we have 2 things. We have a layout, the graphics pipeline layout, that should be a pipeline layout. And I'm passing a vector with descriptor set layouts. And then obviously there is no match between the pipeline layout and the way I add these descriptor sets. most notably because the validation error was about descriptor set number 0. Now I know, because that's part of my test, the top descriptor set always has 2 bindings. Each of these descriptor set has one uniform buffer, and the top one also contains the texture. So yes, in terms of the number of bindings, this one has 2 bindings, this one has 1, and this one has 1. So number 0, that's the first one, that is set index 0, has 2 bindings. And the error was I think that descriptor set number 0 from the pipeline layout has 1 total descriptors, but the descriptor that you try to pass as number 0 has 2 total descriptors. So then if I want this to work, and for the moment let's assume I want this to work, I think I already understand what is wrong. Yeah, I understand what is wrong, but I'll explain it anyway. The problem is that the layout that I made for pipeline number 1 has for set number 0 not the top descriptor, but one of the others, which means that it has only 1 binding. And I'm trying to pass the top descriptor at 0 here. Now, why is this failing? The reason that it is failing is because what I'm assuming here in this code, these 3 lines, that pipeline number 1 is the one that succeeds in putting top at descriptor set number 0. But that's not true. The one that succeeds is the one that is first, and there is a race condition. So it might very well be that graphics pipeline number 2 is the one that succeeds first. That is, it tries to create both basically try to create the same pipeline layout, and that layout is compatible with this order. But only one of them is first, and if pipeline number 2 is first, then pipeline number 1 fails, and gets a mapping, so it has to swap top and left, and that depends on who is first. So what do I want? I think it is not entirely unreasonable if I say I want pipeline number 1 to be first, and if it isn't, maybe I can just swap them. I have to look at the code though. I do not know from my head. If I had just all the bloody source code in my head and I just knew it and I could remember everything, then I could just sit here and think about it and think, of course. Oh, that's going on, I know, so I have to look there and change that. That's how it used to work. That's how it used to work when I was much younger. But now I'm afraid I'm going to have to examine my own code to understand. Okay, so the graphics pipeline number 1 is a pipeline which is simply a member of my window class, and that is being used to create PipelineFactory number 1. And this is in the render loop, and I'm just waiting until the pipeline handles are both there. And this is also in the render loop where I'm using it. Well, this is about pipeline number 1. So yeah, I'm binding it, and then I'm binding the pipeline itself, and I'm binding the descriptor sets. But I definitely want pipeline number 1 to be the one that is using the top descriptor set at the descriptor index 0. Well, that's going to take a while, Timmy. If you're 18 now, I think it's going to take at least another 10 to 20 years before you might get the problem that you cannot remember things anymore. If that you can remember now. If you can remember it now, there are loads of people who never learn it. If you ask me, most of the people that are young that cannot have, say, they cannot remember the code that they're writing. Yeah, you already told me. Oh, your memory is bad. Don't tell me you could not remember that. You told me how old you were. That was 2 days ago. I believe that many young people simply don't use their brain. They don't use it. I use my brain from very young. I was always thinking about problems. Up till that, both my ears were always hot, glowing red, literally because I was thinking so much. And then, I mean, when did I start with that? Early. 5 or 6. I was always thinking about problems. And if you don't do that, if you for some reason you think, you start thinking, and then after 30 seconds you think, oh, I'm tired. Oh, this is too tiring. I'm stopping to think. And then you start to do something dumb like playing a game or something like that on your computer. Then you don't use your brain. So then you end up being a teenager who has no brain and with any power, with any capacity. You get tired very fast, and you keep thinking that you can't think. And the solution is to force yourself to continue. There is no such thing as becoming tired in the brain. I don't believe that. You have to push through that and continue doing it year after year, and then your capacity will grow. Although, of course, it's better to start as soon as possible. The exact same thing happens with old people. At some point, people think they are too old, and then they stop thinking. They stop, oh, I'm too old to do this, I start to feel tired, I forget things. So they stop completely. From that moment on, they don't program anymore. They just sit on the couch and watch television. That's the only thing they do. Oh my God, then you degrade. Soon there is nothing left anymore. Gotta use your brain every day. As advice, I did teach chess also to children, and what I'd like to tell them is, so there was a kid, I think he was 11 or something like that. That's a better age than 18 to begin with this. But what I told him, and maybe you can still do that, is that I think it's a good habit that if you go to bed, you turn off the light, close your eyes. Go through your whole day, every detail. Just you lay in bed and you think, okay, this morning I woke up. And then every detail you can think of. Go over the whole day. That's a really good training. Plus, it's a good way to remember your life, which is something that you will appreciate later on. When you get really older, and you can still remember things of the past, that's a really good feeling. If you cannot remember anything, it's like you didn't live. Haven't lived. Yeah, what will I do with this engine? Well, I was about to make a joke, but fortunately I couldn't find the words, so I didn't make the joke. I don't know yet. It's the honest answer. I must say I'm definitely worried with how often I cannot find words these days. It's going on for years already, but I want to say something, I can think it, but I cannot find the words. What I wanted to say, I'm just going to say it, even though it's a stupid joke. Is it a joke? But how would I say it? I'm going to use my engine to generate 3D porno. I think that was a joke. So there must be a better way to say it. Isn't that what everybody wants? Virtual reality, and then be able to see in 3D your favorite porn. That would be a good motivation. And the Freudian, how do you pronounce that? Motivation. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting approach as well, Graan. I have done some brute force work on elliptic curve cryptography, which I showed a few streams earlier. Before, I want to understand elliptic curves for cryptography, and the fun thing was just to make them so small, so it's such few bits. 2-bit, 3-bit, 4-bit, up till 16-bit, and then you can just brute force everything. And then from that you can really understand things. So I got more insight, and then I could code things more efficiently, so I could even go to 32 bits and in the end even till 64 bits. And still, basically do research or do investigate the elliptic curves with the computer, using sort of a brute force. It can give an enormous insight to begin with, just brute force, and then after that you have that insight, you can write a better version, and after that even a better version. Okay, let's continue with my program. Okay, so this object has both a handle and a layout. Where are they filled in? Let's begin with the layout. Pipeline 1 is Vulcan pipeline, and that has a layout and a handle. Okay. And they are private, and I have accessors here. I cannot use the accessors to give them a value, so it must be done somewhere else, most likely by this constructor. So somewhere this pipeline is being constructed. I begin with the default constructor when creating the object in my window class, and then later I assign to it. And what I assign to it, I move to it, and it must be created with this constructor. So I make it temporary with this constructor, move it into this one, which was originally created as the default constructor. So what I really want to do is find where I call the operator, but I might as well search for wherever I make a temporary with that constructor. And I bet that that is happening okay, here's something being created. No, it's not. It's not. This is just a member function. So it's a VK pipeline, it's a different class even. I need a Vulcan pipeline. Well, I don't see it. So what regular expression shall I use to find this? Another good guess is I think that I might be using Vulcan in front of it. That looks closer. At some point I have a new pipeline, and then we are calling have new pipeline. And here we have set pipeline. Here's the constructor. So it was not a temporary, well, I mean, it's not a temporary that is made on the stack, it's a temporary that is made on one line. And I'm using a brace here. So the two possibilities, either something with a brace, and that is that one line, or maybe you have a parenthesis, and that doesn't occur. The space was also not there, so this is the place where the pipeline is created. And okay, so at some point we have the layout. And something else, PipelineFactory index, pipeline index. This thing was created from the layout and the handle. Okay. Oh, it's not really, it's not a handle to the pipeline, it's a pseudo handle. Pipeline handle. This handle is defined here, and it contains an index to the PipelineFactory and an index to the pipeline itself. So there are two indexes, but together they allow me to find back the actual whatever it is that it points to. Maybe a pipeline, I guess. I guess it is. And then the whole thing is being moved to have new datum of move new pipeline synchronously, which is a task. It's a synchronous task. It's a task that runs in the render loop, synchronous with the frames. And every task has a multiplex implementation. So we switch to the .cxx file. We should find that. Well, this is the header. So it should be here then. Is this a template? It's not a template. Stronger. It's a local clause, I guess. Okay, this is a task. So every time a new pipeline is being moved to this function, it now executes synchronously flush new data, which is a part of task to task DQ. Executing a lambda that is being passed, or this lambda. Have new pipeline is being executed. Now window has M pipeline factories. Yeah, it's pretty deep buried away, I'm afraid. I'm looking to understand how the index is determined, the PipelineFactory index. We now know that it exists, but what value does it get? Set index, maybe. I guess set index is being called on the PipelineFactory, which then determines what the index is. Return. What are we? PipelineFactory. Passes an index. Amazing. Only 2 lines or 3 lines with set index. It is already assigned in create PipelineFactory. That's nice. Where the index is set to the current size. So we have the size 0 for the first time I call create PipelineFactory, and then we have size 1 the second time it's being called, and therefore the first time it's being called the index is 0 and the second time it is 1, and that's being used. Of course, create PipelineFactory is called in order, as you already saw. So PipelineFactory 1 has factory index 0, and factory 2 has factory index 1. Yeah, I don't do drugs. Obviously. Before anyone does drugs, learn about really? I'm definitely getting Alzheimer's. And it's so scary. Your mind goes blank. Learn about endorphins. Endorphin. I don't know. Does it exist? How to boost them? No, we don't want that. Endorphin. Back off. Nah. Maybe I have the wrong word. There's this one chemical substance in your brain that makes you feel happy. I thought it was endorphins. So every time you do something that makes you feel good, it's because of that substance. But the result is that it strengthens the pathways that were just recently used to get that reaction in the first place. So your brain literally thinks, oh, that feels good, I must do that again. And if you do that with something artificial, like taking drugs, dopamine, yes. Why could I not remember that? How scary is that, man? Dopamine, yeah. Now, basically, dopamine is the only way to really feel good, if you ask me. And all drugs just cause that to be released. And the result is that you will program your brain to want that again. And that then results in wanting more drugs. And you forget about what is important in life, what is really important in life. If you take hard drugs, you end up laying on the floor, filthy, and the only thing you care about are getting a new shot. You don't care if your parents die, or if you don't have food, or if you are sick and weak. It's all not important. There's only one thing important according to your brain. And that is getting more dopamine by getting more drugs. It's stupid. I really don't understand why people influence their brains in this way. I never did. I never smoked either. Not one single thing. And I haven't drank alcohol until I was 40. Yeah, because they're stupid. The only explanation I can think of. And I'm sure also that the reason I never did this, and I decided that even at 12 I have made the decisions like I don't want kids because the world is full. I don't want to do drugs because it's extremely stupid to fuck up your own brain. Stuff like that. I see that as the reason that I made those decisions is because I'm smart, or I was smart anyway. It seemed to be obvious to me. Well, you definitely shouldn't, and also don't start with it. It's only bad. It's really I don't know, really. There are people that drink alcohol purely to fuck up their own brain, and because they like it, they like how they feel. But look at what happens. It doesn't matter how you feel, it matters what it does to you, what it does to your brain. Your brain is mistaken to feel nice when lots of neurons are destructed and your brain is reprogrammed to at some point only care about one thing. It's getting more alcohol. You should program it to want only one thing, and that is do good in the world, care for other people, get a good job, get money. Not artificially fuck up your brain. Okay, so this is index number 0, this is index number 1. And now, the next step. One of them finishes first. How do I figure out which one finished first? Yeah, I think I think 10 years ago, something like that, I was in the metro and there were two boys of around 13 years old, I think. And they were, talking to each other like that there was the best thing, and they were excited about this, and they were just having their discussion in public about smoking. Like they were going to do it or did it already and thought it was making them, the man. They were proud on it. I don't know. There's some. I can't express myself any more good in words, unfortunately. But they definitely talked about it as if they were proud and as if it was a good thing. So when I left the metro, I stopped at them and I told them my opinion. So what the fuck are you doing? Don't think that this is good. It's stupid. It's really stupid. I hope that they thought about that and maybe changed their mind about that stupid habit of starting to smoke at that age. I mean, I have my addictions too, but not to substances, not to chemical substances. I'm pretty much addicted to my computer, to the point that if someone would take away my internet on my computer, I would probably become suicidal. But it's a lot more manageable, I think, if you're, just addicted to something physical. Something that you do instead of pumping your blood full with chemicals, smoking or otherwise. I have to say that the chat is extremely distracting. Well, yes, they kind of have they allow, what is it called? Hashes, soft drugs, smoking, weed and stuff like that. And yes, I have seen youth ruin their life with that. They start smoking while still in, they start smoking weed while still in school. And although it's not a hard drug, and it is possible to get to stop with it at some point, at that moment it definitely causes them to become apathic and not work hard enough at school. They get lazy. They like to be high rather than do their homework. So it might not be in an extreme addiction, but it definitely fucks up the future because they don't do enough at school. If between 13 and 18 the only thing you think is important is hanging out with your friends and smoking weed, then no good job for you later. Okay, yeah, I'm going to stop watching chat for a bit and concentrate on my program. So let me see. What I wanted to know what I really want to know is which pipeline, so either this one or that one, in terms of the instance of this object or that object, which one of these two puts the top descriptor set at index 0. I think I have a boolean that says I'm done with creating my uniform buffers. That might be a good point to swap the two graphics pipelines if it is not pipeline number 1 that has this. I think that boolean is used somewhere. Of course, I forgot what it was called. Or not. Yeah, I would think that if I pass the top descriptor set key to get set index hint, I get the set index hint. Something is not right here. Something is not right here. Shouldn't this be translated? Yeah, maybe not. Let's not get too hasty. Anyway, if this code is correct, then the first handle is, yeah, is that of the top. I think I have other interesting code in this function. Yeah, this horrible hack. Nope. Why is this not highlighted? Why would it not be highlighted here? I can't even jump to it. Oops. Why the hell is it called pipeline? Just try to compile this so far. PipelineFactory pointer. Yeah, well, it's called pointer. Idiot. Yeah, I can find probably going to need the set index hint anyway. Should use this probably. Use a member function of share input data. And then here we want to have the key of key, I guess, or something. Nah, set index key. Does not get a color. Set descriptor index key. No. No, of course not. Descriptor set. Also not. I give up. Okay, something, but I'm going to call that on the top something. So probably top buffer. Descriptor set key. Well, I almost tried it. M top buffer. Okay, and then no, I think I need the decoration context because that contains the translation map from the index hint to the real set index. All right, what is happening on the stream? Lots of viewers. Yeah, no. Nice to have highlighted me. But if you do not ask me what is the differences between C and C++. Sure, you can find it somewhere else. I agree with it for all. They're just completely different. Yeah, of course, you know, theoretically C is derived, C++ is derived from C in the sense that it tried to be accepted by being backwards compatible at first, but it's no longer necessary, and if you ask me, they're starting to deviate from it. So here and there, you know, real differences in the syntax. I wouldn't be surprised that at some point you cannot compile C anymore at all with the C++ compiler. But the real difference is that the programming, what is the word, paradigm or something, is entirely different, to the point that if you would learn C and learn how to code in C, then the chances are that you have to almost start over to create those neuron paths in your brain when you start to learn C++. Unless perhaps you go extremely sophisticated C and you try to be object oriented in C, but really, don't don't think you have any benefit of that. If in the end you want to program in C++, just start with C++ directly, as if it is a completely different language. And Hals is also right, of course. Okay, well, I think it took me an hour to get from here to there. But slowly, we have now more and more information about our PipelineFactory number 1. That's what I start with. I still need to find declaration context, which I think is also hidden in the shader input data. And then I mean the declaration context of the shader resources. Oh yeah, that's it, right? I have another one here. 2 places. That's strange. No wait, this is the context. This is something else. This is the shader declaration itself. Let's go with the context. I'm pretty sure that the context contains what I need. Shader context contains the map of bindings. Which gives me the shader resource declaration. So maybe I need that. The shader resource declaration gives me the set index hint. Okay, yeah, I might as well then look that up immediately here or something, but no, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the map that translates. Well, what's it called? Set binding map still? Set binding map? No, apparently. I'm looking for this set binding map. Where is that stored? TPS set binding map. Uh-oh. I don't think it's being stored. It's just being called. We have the call on the lambda. No, here it is. To be usable, I have my PipelineFactory already. Okay. Oops, no, that is, yeah, that's what I meant. This is a lot, the map is allocated on the stack here. It's not really stored. And then I'm just calling those set binding map callbacks. No. Well, yeah, maybe I can use one of the callbacks. Here's a callback. It's all nice that we have a window here, but the window is const. I do a const cast here, but it's extremely dirty, as it says. So the only thing I can do, I think, is store the binding that is being passed to the this pointer that this lambda is capturing, and this pointer is then the characteristic. And this is inside initialize x of uniform buffer test pipeline characteristic base. Mouthful. Let's just do this because it's a hack test anyway. I'm going to create a set binding map here. Keep a copy. Okay, this is defined in Vulcan descriptor. And then I'm going to make a copy whenever this initialize x is being called. No, whenever the lambda is being called. And then we have that, so now we can, let's add an accessible thing, which is still private. New accessories, really. I hardly believe that that is still inside. Okay, so now I have an accessor in the characteristic. What the hell? Why am I editing frame resources count? Why I jumped to some marker, which brought me to the wrong file, I guess. Now I have my set binding map. That should allow me to convert to an actual set index. Top set index is set binding map convert set index hint. That would be this function. Assert okay, what is the set index of my top? I think I have two possibilities, really, and maybe not, but that's what I'm going for right now. Either it's 0 or it is 1. Set binding map in Vulcan pipeline shader input data. I thought I just added that. Set binding map. Oh, that's right, I don't have that there. Set binding map was defined in the... Ouch. The context. Yeah. Oh, still don't have my context. Shader resource declaration. That's, I think it was in. No. No. No, it was in the characteristic. What am I doing? It was in the characteristic, but then I have to cast it. That was a pointer. I'm going to have to cast it to the actual thing, and of course I don't know which. Well, oh, actually I do. This is PipelineFactory 1, so this should be characteristic 1. Pretty sure, because yeah, Graphics Pipeline 1 stored in PipelineFactory 1. Yeah, PipelineFactory 1 is using Uniform Buffers Test Pipeline Characteristic 1. So those belong together. That should really work. No doubt they have a virtual functions, do they not? Already here, see we a virtual function. The override there at the end. So the type is characteristic, so it's a const pointer. Yes, and well, maybe I should add an assert to make sure that it is correct. I don't want any weird surprises. Can type. What is GTA? What does GTA stand for? A core dump. That's new. Oh, GTA 6. Grand Theft. Who cares? I don't play games. I code games at most. They're not interested much in playing them. This pointer is bollocks. Incorrect. Characteristics. Well, the only reason I can think of that would cause that is because the PipelineFactory was already destroyed, and actually I see that here happening. The destructor was called. Yeah, and that's what you get. So I have to make a copy of that as well, I guess. Or shall I keep the factory alive? It's kind of strange. PipelineFactory is a function that is accessing a deleted task. So let's have a look at that line there. Yes, VI. So that's an intrusive pointer. Ooh. So the intrusive pointer should have kept the PipelineFactory alive. Then how the hell is it possible that it was deleted? This is inside class synchronous window. That one still exists. It's never deleted. This one is just calling get on it. Detach pipeline cache task. Delete the PipelineFactory task. Okay, so it's not keeping it alive because I am resetting that pointer. Yeah, but Now this is in the engine. I don't want to change the engine, so I'm going to keep it alive from the window class, which is here, and probably so this factory must not die, which means that my factory thing, that's a handle. Yeah, that's not working. What does create pipeline factory do then? It creates an actual factory, which is moved to M pipeline factories. Which is, yeah, that vector. I just have to get the intrusive pointer out of it, I guess, afterwards. Now we can do that. We cannot do that. Well, we can get a pointer by calling PipelineFactory on it with the index. Before running it, I can do PipelineFactory. Well, I'm doing the same thing as I did above, which is an in-draw frame. So I'm doing this thing here. Now the nice thing of boost intrusive pointer is that you can convert a normal pointer back to a intrusive pointer, and that works. You cannot do that with standard shared pointers, which is why I never use standard shared pointers, but always boost intrusive pointer. It means that nobody else is understanding that. And then, well, I just assign that pointer that I get here. I guess I'll better keep both alive. Not sure why. I'm only accessing one, right? Yeah, let's only keep one alive for now. That should work. And this then is a boost intrusive pointer of well, whatever this thing was returning, which of course I forgot again already. And pipeline factories, task pipeline factory. What else? Never use it in comments, by the way. It's pipeline factory. Well, unless it refers to something that you used in the same sentence, of course. So this will become pipeline factory index because it, and that refers to this one. It's not an IDE, it's an editor, text editor basically. My IDE is not integrated. It exists of bars, functions, and aliases. So my IDE is my terminal. Let me see. I have now kept it alive, and then we can even destruct it afterwards, as soon as I'm done with it. Yeah, I might have to wait all the way until the bottom, and then I can destruct it. Reset. Oops, no, why not? But I want to make it. Still a core dump. Now what is going wrong? No, nothing is going wrong, of course. Oh, it is. It's still unknown. What? Yeah, still a PipelineFactory being crashed. Crushed, deleted, but it's in thread pool 3. Well, that's annoying. That very much looks not alive. Oh, I get it again. Damn it, of course. I reset. Yeah, I cannot use that. Okay. Hello. Is it time to go to bed or something? Quit. So I cannot do this because it was erased from this. It was reset. So it might not be deleted now, but the pointer is still 0. So instead of doing that, I'm going to have to use this pointer that I created just now. Well, this works, I guess. Let's try it again. This is still broken. Not even sure. I didn't change anything. So it should be, yeah, we get all 3 possibilities still. Let's see description of this stream. But this assert did not fire. Yeah, that was for testing. I have to run it a few times and then see if I run into any other problems. Especially, for example, that assert. So, no assert here. validation errors, but no assert. Yeah, just still one of those three possibilities. I wanted to see it work once too. I only saw two possibilities. Validation errors. Yeah, there it is. Now it works. That's how it should work. But yeah, the other assert is not firing, so this assert is not firing. That's nice. Now I'm going to use it. If it is 1, then I want to swap graphics pipeline 1 with graphics pipeline 2. Yeah, what I really want is that after that value 0. What I really should do, I guess, I mean this is sufficient if it works, but what I really want to do maybe is to do this also for PipelineFactory 2. And then see if 1 is 0 and the other is 1 always, and then I can swap them if so that the number 1 is 0 and the pipeline 2 is uses a set 1 in all cases. Now the scary thing of just swapping graphics pipeline 1 and 2 is that I have other things that end on 1 and 2. But that would be PipelineFactory, right? And that is deleted normally. We just saw. I don't think there is anything left that ends on 1 or 2, except the graphics pipeline itself. So this is just a string for the shader that is already compiled. And the fragment shader. Okay, these indexes are incorrect now then or whatever, but no, that's also shader, so it's really not important. Characteristics are also used already. These are still alive, I could swap them, but afterwards I'm not using it anymore. Factories are already deleted, except that I keep them alive, but that was the last time I used them. So yeah, we're around. Well, let me just try it out. Maybe it works and then I don't have to dig into it deeper. If it doesn't work, then I guess I'm going to add that test. Yeah, that still is broken. And again. And again. It's no change. Arg. Arg. No. I'm going to run the debugger. There's the debugger. Hope for a validation error, and now see what a validation error is this time. And don't tell me that it is exactly the same as before. Okay, there's my validation error, and the validation error is descriptor set number 1 being bound not compatible overlapping descriptor set 0 due to this one thing. One part one has one total descriptors, but has 2 total descriptors. Exactly the same validation error. I let my head hang. I cannot read my monitor while my head is hanging like this, so let's look up again and go up also in the stack frame. I look at the chat and I see something is asking what is your average frame time. That depends on what I'm drawing. Draw a lot of difficult stuff. It takes a long time. And otherwise, I don't know, just a single triangle, way higher than my monitor frame rate. I'll limit it to 60 frames per second because the monitor is not updating faster anyway. No, I did never use an IDE. Well, actually I did, yeah. I think I tried one of those things once. And I think that the main problem for me back then, and that might have been 10 years ago, was that that IDE did not support Vim. It's absolute deal breaker. If I cannot use a Neovim even. If there is now an IDE where I can just use Neovim when I code, I want to try that. So if you know that Linux has a good IDE where you can use Neovim as the editor, let me know and I'll try it. Telegram is blinking because I have many messages. Okay. The world is burning. Politicians are crazy. And economics are crashing. Well, always nice to be up to date with the misery in the world. Mostly thanks to our politicians. Anyone from Sri Lanka here, or is it not possible for people from Sri Lanka to use internet anymore? I actually think I saw one from Sri Lanka. Matt, you must be an intelligent guy. The YouTube recommends this channel to you. VS, that sounds like a Visual Studio, which is Windows. Or is it Linux? VS Code. Yeah, up, 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 up. Bind descriptor sets, still going wrong. Still the first one, unfortunately. So the layout of Graphics Pipeline 1, which I just swapped with Graphics Pipeline 2, or didn't I? Did I? I should have, I hope. Maybe I should have printed if I swap it. I have enough RAM. Yeah, it was not swapped, I think, because Graphics Pipeline 1 still says that it has a factory index 1. Unless the other one has factory index 0. That's a possibility. It is, so it was swapped. Not that the swap did anything, because the bloody layout handles are the same. Oh! Yeah, okay. Guys, all this work was for nothing today. But maybe you learned something anyway. Yeah, I'm getting tired of this. I'm going to stop for today, I think. Let's do something else. People still want to chat, or can I just quit? You really mean this? It is for Windows, for Linux I mean. tar test f VS Code. Okay, let me just, oh, it's written in whatever, JavaScript. See a .js file. Extract, I guess. VS Code, Linux, x64, Chrome. There is no README. What should I run? Well, there's bin code. There's a code here, there's a code there. Nobody knows what to do. Just run it. Code. Get started. Get started with VS Code. Discover the best customization to make VS Code yours. Choose the look you want. The right color palette helps you focus on your code, is easy on your eyes, and is simply more fun to use. Is this running in Chrome or something or not? Because they sure are hiding my plugins, if they are. It's not the extension that I was looking for. And now I get something else, or how do I close this? Control Shift X. Nope. Yeah, I guess I still have others to get started. Yeah, well, nobody knows what we're doing. Now I have this junk here, and here it says getting involved, new file. I was reading something else. I think I'm just kill it and then run it again. Nope, do not get another chance to learn. The get started is gone. I got one chance, I clicked on something and now it's gone. Very great. How do I get my get started back? I know I wanted to start like it was before. It was running, yeah, get started. Get started, but it's not what I was reading it before. It had something here like, I thought it was getting some kind of tutorial or something. Maybe this. Yeah, I think that's what it was. That's what it was. Get started with VS Code. Discover the best customizations. Yeah, it was the right color palette helps you to focus on your code. Blah blah blah. Browse color themes. Well, clearly I want dark. Looks good to me. Scroll bars not working. No scroll bars. Yeah. Goes down. I grab it with my mouse. You cannot. The scroll bar is not working with the mouse. You have to use the wheel. Is that normal? Okay, that doesn't look nice. Browse more. So quiet light. Light default. I like dark. I like it's both the same dark. There's also a nice tint red hue. Ouch, like eyes. Okay, so just one of this. Sync to and from other devices. What other devices? No, thank you. One shortcut to access everything. Yeah, what? Shortcuts? And that's it. You think, well, they're going to take me by the hand, but then after this it stops. I can look more themes, but yeah, I just already saw that. Learn fundamentals. Redefine your editing skills. To code faster, smarter, use Neovim. Okay, first things first. This is a no-go, like I said, immediately, if I cannot use Neovim. So where do I click to get Neovim working? Edit the playgrounds. Convenient built-in terminal, limitless extensibility, tune your settings. These are all commercial Microsoft sentences. I hate them already. It doesn't say anything, it just tells that it is good without giving any reasons. Multi-cursor editing, intelligent. Ugh, I hate this word. It's a ridiculous word. Line actions. What the hell is that? Yeah, this is their own editor. That's very clear. Okay, let's do a new text file. I have a text file. Insert. Escape. No, it's not Neovim. How do I switch? Opened editors. Maybe preferences. As you can tell, extensions. Maybe an extension for another key, for another editor or something. How to save font size, font family, tab size, running white space cursor. Demir, why? Oh, go to extensions. Okay. Nobody knows where extensions are. I did not want to go to the browser. Now we are in extensions again. Where is my editor? Extension pack untitled. Here. Okay, let's try it again. Insert. Nope. Escape. Nope. Still not Neovim. This is still not a weird editor. Yeah, no, what? Normally I would close it and delete it now. So tell me, what am I doing wrong? The functionality, of course. I expect every editor to be Neovim. I don't want to do any. I installed it. It says it's installed globally. I open the text and it's nonsense. It's a shitty editor. How can I install the wrong Neovim? I installed this. Is that not good? I did. This was the only one. How do I go to extensions? I mean, here, if I hover the mouse, it says extensions. I click on it and I get this. Okay, you can still search here, I guess. Neovim. So yeah, extensions Neovim, and this one I did install. I have to install this one. VS Code semi-vim shortcuts. Oh, theme, okay. This one. Or this one. Or can I actually move this and see what it says? Oh, you can. Yeah, okay, I did install theme accent colors. That's not the one. This one. Yeah, what you say is, you say VS Code semi-vim shortcuts. The semi is not good. There must be full vim, I think. But okay, maybe. But I don't see that. Yeah, there's a huge delay again between voice and chat, so it's not clear. Install that. My mouse is here. I guess I'm just installing the top one. Maybe I should read all of this. I thought I installed something for Linux. It's talking about Windows path. Oh, here it is. Use local bin nvim. Okay, setting ID is, nobody understands that. my god. And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. Don't tell me you have to read this and do all that to get an editor working. Clicking this does not do anything. Installation, I did that. Install Neovim, I already have Neovim installed. We want to use Neovim one, what is with WSL? Yeah, and I could not find that. Oh, this. I want a real Neovim. This sounds much better. But yeah, okay, this might be a bit too difficult. Oh, let's start with this one. No, do I have Neovim or do I have to? No. Nope, it's still nothing. So what do I next? I install this. I did install it. So now can I add a new file? This works. Open a different editor. Sorry, but no. This is still not a Neovim. I did. This is a new one. Why? No, that does not make much sense if you ask me. This is full-blown Neovim, and this is just semi-Vim shortcuts. But this is not working, so why not? I don't think that doesn't do anything. Well, okay, I'll delete it. We did a reload. No, I installed this one. This one is installed. This one is installed. Yeah, but I'll quit. Run it again. Neovim. Configure the path to Neovim and restart. So I'm not using the second plugin now. It's using the first one. Configure the path to Neovim and restart the editor. So how do I configure that? I just restarted it. I have to configure the plugin. Full path to the Neovim executable. Full path to Neovim executable that should be used by the extension if running VS Code on Linux. This is Darwin. Let's not do that. But don't tell me you could not find it. It's in the default place. Full path to the custom Neovim init.vim file on Linux equals to startup option. Everyone knows what that is. What is WSL? I guess I'm not doing that. Yeah, well, there's two things I don't understand. Why do I have to specify the path to Neovim? Because it's in a super obvious place, which is in my path. And why, even worse, why would I have to specify the path to init.vim? Because it's also in a super obvious place. I'm gonna see what it says if I only specify the path to Neovim. Nope, that's not working. I first want to have an editor working. projects. Trust the authors of what file? Just pops this up. Do you trust the authors of these files? Which files? Which files is it talking about? Well, okay, so this is my window.h file. And it's not working, dude. This is a shitty editor they can do nothing with. So it's not working at all. Huh? Why is it not opening this in Neovim? Tell me. We get this. Completely useless. Well, I tried it. It's not working. I cannot get this to work. There is no Neovim in this thing. Goodbye. I'm going to